Hey there, teachers. It's time for some more Schoology pro tips for streamlining your workflow and eliminating unnecessary steps. So today we're going to talk about 3 things that you can do to streamline your process. Tip number 1 is to create a Schoology profile pic that's going to allow you to see your subject matter and your class period at a glance. If you're using the same image for every section, it can be really hard to tell them apart from the dashboard. So one thing you can do to make that a lot easier on yourself is add a text box to your profile pic that shows you which class period is which. This is the profile picture that I created in Google Drawing. The most important parts of this profile pic are the page dimensions and the text box. You want to make sure that your page dimensions are set to 3.65 by 3.65 inches, and you want to keep the text box exactly where it is. Here's another example from Kara Epstein at Brennan High School. Keep in mind that her page dimensions are the same and that text box is hovering right here in the middle, so that when Kara takes that Schoology profile pic and she adds it into her Schoology page, she can see it at a glance. Tip number 2 is to rethink your weekly and daily folders. This is a great example of another way you could organize your Schoology page from Brittany Rodriguez at Warren High School. So when you click into her class, you can see her image, her name, her contact information here at the top. And then she organized her folders by the unit. I'm going to click on Unit 2, which is her narrative, and you can see the date range for this unit right underneath the title. Inside this unit folder, Brittany has lesson plans, notes, practice assignments, graded assessments, and example personal narrative essays. I'm going to go to graded assessments. When we get into this folder, you can see all of the assessments that she has loaded into Schoology. Now, Brittany did say that not everything that is in the gradebook is represented here in Schoology. They still do plenty of assessments using pen and paper in the classroom or using another platform. But these are all the things that she has in Schoology that are posted for students to find. The other really great resource that she has for students is the notes. So everything in the graded assessments folder corresponds to something here in the notes. And Brittany's doing a great job of using the G Suite to teach her lessons and then embedding those pieces into Schoology so that her students know exactly where to go when they need help. This is from Emily Eskridge at Stevens High School, and she's also using her unit folders instead of weekly or daily folders to organize her content. She's included her assessments and the resources that kids need to use to be successful. So right here under Coach Wooden and Me, the assignment is to read the excerpt and pay attention to how the author crafts his message so that I can explain how an anecdote can be used as supporting evidence. And then you'll notice right underneath that are her notes on using anecdotes as supporting evidence. And students can go through the exact lesson that she presented in class during in-person learning if they need more help on this assignment. Tip 3, let the G Suite do the work for you. So you may be watching this and saying, my campus expects me to have a weekly folder or a daily folder for students, or my campus expects me to post a daily agenda or a weekly agenda for my kids so that anyone who is absent or anyone who is struggling knows where to go to catch up on the lessons that they've missed or the things that they want to review. So the last pro tip for you today is to leverage the G Suite so that you're not trying to recreate your work when you're teaching in person in Schoology. So I'm going to go to my first 9 weeks folder, and I've taken a page out of Brittany and Emily's organization, and I've created unit folders instead of a weekly or a daily folder. When students click into my Writing the College Essay Unit folder, the first thing they're going to see is the agenda. And I can do this 2 ways. I can create a weekly agenda that shows kids everything that we did during the week. And I can post my daily agenda so that students know exactly what was going on in the classroom. Now, when I was teaching at Marshall High School, I did my daily and my weekly agenda in Google Slides anyway. So this is what I was doing on a daily basis. And when I go into Schoology and I embed this in my folder and in my page, I'm not having to recreate everything and retype all of that information just for Schoology. So what I've done here is post my daily agenda. So I've got my lesson objective, I've got my reminders and the date. And students can even click into that slide and access whatever I've linked here to give me one more layer of functionality. And then, for example, on Wednesday, I've actually got the different steps that we followed in the lesson so that if students need to go back through this and review it one more time, they can see exactly what we were doing on that day. And I've arranged this so that the most recent content is first in the slide deck, so that when a student clicks in to see what we were doing, the most recent information is going to show first. And then as I scroll down, I've got my assessment, analyzing the writer's choices, writing an effective college essay. If my students are working on their rough draft and they want to see the different steps in our pre-writing strategy, they can scroll through and review what we did in class that day. Again, these are all things that I was already doing with my kids for in-person learning, and all I've done is taken those different elements and embedded them within my Schoology page. So if Schoology is still driving you crazy, here are 3 tips for how to simplify your workflow. Number 1, create a custom profile pic that can be seen in the Schoology dashboard. Number 2, try making unit folders instead of daily or weekly folders. And number 3, let the G Suite do the work for you.